Port Jervis, and welcome to the Port Connects podcast, the alumni podcast. And excited this morning. It's a Thanksgiving edition, a class of 2013 graduate Jordan Little from Florida here. Jordan, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're lucky to have you on. A quick shout out to our Port Jervis school community, our parents, families here. Happy Thanksgiving from all of us here at Port Jervis Schools to all of you out there. And Jordan, happy Thanksgiving to you as well.
Happy Thanksgiving to you as well.
It was parent-teacher conferences last night, Jordan. Do you remember those days back when you were in school, parent-teacher night? Were you like biting on your knuckles saying,
Always.
"Oh man, what are they going to say?"
I probably still have some, bite marks on my fingertips from it. So with my mom being a school teacher, I never was able to get away with anything. So of course, parent-teacher conferences, and I was always worried of what was going to happen. Thankfully, very small, amount of time I probably got in trouble for something. So I'm very fortunate with that.
I would say that was minimal to none there, Jordan.
Yeah.
And you were the last little, or you in the middle? Where are you?
Yeah, no. So I'm the last. My sister Sarah, she's the first. Then Johnny, then my brother Justin, and then myself. We're split between about 13 years between me and my sister, and then a 6-year difference between me and my brother Justin.
Wow. Well, this is Jordan Little, friends. So, Jordan, tell me, it's been a couple years since you graduated. You're in Florida, and if you follow you on social media, you have become a world traveler. So from the stage here in Port Jervis to Celebration, Florida, right outside Disney, tell me a little bit about your journey and a little bit about what you're doing.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, if people follow me on social media, they'll be like, well, what's he up to now? I've had so many people reach out to me to be like, where are you this week? Or what are you doing now? So after school, I graduated. I graduated in 2013, like you said. I went to college at SUNY Delhi. I did 2 years there, got my associate's degree in marketing. Then I did a professional internship in Disney down in Florida, right where I live now. When I finished that, I went back to school to finish my bachelor's degree from SUNY Empire, which is an online, a great university if you're going to start working and whatnot.
Jordan, let me interrupt you there.
Sorry.
Did Delhi help with the internship? Was that something that they did, or is that you on your own plugging away to find something to help you with your career?
So a little bit of both. So there was like a meeting, something that was posted on a board, learn about, the Disney College program, because I was trying to find something to do within, an internship because I needed it for my degree. And It kind of just worked out. And our school, out of the SUNY schools, SUNY Delhi had 45 people that year go down for the following semester to do the internship, which was the most out of some of the bigger, like Syracuse's and Penn State's, which they all have, students that go. But our school focuses on, because it's actually a hospitality school. They're big into, hotel management and stuff like that, which I didn't do, but I wanted to do. I always loved Disney, especially doing it on our senior class trip and whatnot. So it was a great opportunity for me to do that. But it was kind of a mix of both. I looked for it, but then I found it through the school, if that makes sense.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
No, you're good.
A lot of our kids go for internships, and people ask, how does it happen? So a little bit of both. Okay.
Yeah.
So then afterwards, Empire, and then
So after that, I was working actually up in. I moved back home from Florida for a little bit. When my dad got sick, I got a job up at Aaron's over at Matamoros, and then was finishing out my college degree. Had an opportunity to move down to Florida about 2 years later. Packed up, moved to Florida, but still love and everything for New York and obviously Port Jervis. And from there, got sick a couple of years later. I actually had a stroke. And that's what started me into the travel business, because I didn't know if I'd be able to do, because I was still currently with Aaron's at the time, just in Florida. I didn't know if I'd be able to go back to kind of that corporate retail type of job. And I wanted to find something that I could do from a computer. We're now in a digital, computer-driven everything, age. and I started my business and had a great mentor, Deanna Archer, and she kind of paved the way and showed me what I needed to do. And I'm very thankful and very happy that everything has worked out over the past 4 years since I've been in business, and I've been able to represent the school as a travel agent for the school in different ways. And I really do enjoy it. I really do enjoy what I do.
Yeah, Jordan, Little Travel Company there. I put the link in the show notes. So literally, you started this company on your own.
Yes, so I started Little Travel
Wow.
Co. As myself, as an entrepreneur, which my mom or almost anybody who knows me, they've always called me an entrepreneur. I had a lemonade stand when I was a child, and got all the way to having branded pens that said Jordan Little's Lemonade Stand with like a phone number on it. It's just a 25-cent cup of lemonade. My dad probably spent more money on getting the pens than I probably ever had made on it. But I've always had that mindset of having my own business, just like other family members of my own. My sister, she has her own practice. She's also the school's physician. My brother Johnny, he has his own, own business and whatnot. So yeah, it's something both my parents really instilled into us about, doing stuff on our own. And,
Hmm.
when you achieve something and it's on your own, it feels even more better than working. And it's always great achieving anything, but when you can do it and say it's on your own, it's more fulfilling.
Yeah, yeah. Your sister's right here. Her practice with her
Yep.
husband takes care of many of our people, and she's our like you said, our district doctor, Sarah Little. So Jordan, you make it sound easy. Oh, let me just start this company. There's also so many online options for people. Back in the day, 10, 15 years ago, maybe they didn't know how to do it, but you could
Hmm.
go online. So tell the audience why would somebody want to go to Little Travel Company if there's an opportunity to do it online themselves? What are some of the services you provide through your company?
Because I'm a person. So like big companies, like I think you're speaking of, is like Expedia, Orbitz, booking it yourself. 100%, anybody could gladly do that. Using a travel agent, it doesn't even have to be myself, could be anybody. You're helping a small business where the travel agent is your liaison for your trip. Let's say you're going and you're flying to Europe, and something, an issue happens, and you can't, you're working at the school right now, you can't take 2 hours to call United Airlines, but your travel agent can. Now, travel agents don't make money off of like, for like asking you for a fee or something like that. It's always built into the actual trip. So regardless if you're booking a vacation through, yourself versus using a travel agent, the price is still going to be the same. But the benefits you get from a travel agent is, I would say I'm a pretty experienced traveler. I kind of know, I've been to most of the places. Obviously, you see I post from all the different things. I can give good reviews versus having somebody, do it blindly and maybe not having a great vacation, because my goal is always about providing families an opportunity to go on vacation, especially families from Port Jervis. I have hundreds of clients from the tri-state area, and I love referrals. And when they're like, oh, I did this trip with Jordan, this was great, he knows exactly, what to do, how to set this up. Because a lot of people look at travel and they think it's very expensive. Now, there are
Yeah,
aspects where travel is expensive, it's just what it is. But I do everything I can to provide it, make it the best cost efficient that everybody can be able to travel. Like, one of the big reasons I became a travel agent and just love travel was the senior class trip. A conversation I had with Miss Casera many, many years ago, and even as recently as a couple months ago, on the Port Jervis senior class trip or any of those, this might be the only time that student, that family can afford to send someone to Florida. I'm very fortunate that, of where I grew up, but I've never looked at it like, oh, why can't this person do it? Why can't that person do it? And they shouldn't do it. I think everybody should have the opportunity to go. And that's why I love that our school still does a senior class trip, to give that opportunity to families that might not, this might be their only chance to leave the tri-state area. And I kept that inside me as like, I want to provide that to more people. I
Yeah.
have such a passion for travel and for like helping others and for the community that this all kind of ties together. Because if a travel agent is like, oh, we're making all this money, we're not. Yeah, we're honestly not. I can afford to have the lights on. I can afford to have food in the fridge for myself and my family. But other than that, no, it's we're all living in the same stuff. Eggs are still crazy price. Everything is still crazy price, and I can feel it. But I do want to have people go out and experience different things, because the moment you stop traveling or like learning or exploring is kind of the moment you stop learning and living and things like that. Life is supposed to be lived, not just supposed to work and, have the drag of all that. So that's why I do it. I'm very passionate and wanting to show my experience to others, and then have other people be like, yeah, I went on this trip and, was able to see this or do this once in a lifetime experience. So that's a main reason I really, wanted to get into my business. And I'm glad everything has worked out thus far.
Awesome. Awesome. Friends, this is Jordan Little, class of 2013. If you're watching live, please jump in and say hello. Maybe you're a classmate of Jordan's. Maybe you're a member who went on one of Jordan's trips. So please jump in the chat and say hello. Jordan, let's bring it back to school. Again, your family always very, very great kids at school. I remember you, your brother, your sisters. So what were some things at school that stood out to you as, oh yeah, that was a stepping stone, or that person really helped me through this time? What were some things, if you think back to, and it doesn't just have to be high school. So many of our kids have such fond memories of their elementary and middle school as well. So tell me some experiences that you fondly recall from school.
Yeah, if we want to keep it towards like the travel side, definitely like the class trips, which I've already touched on. But I would say, as you brought up her name before, Miss Casera, Deb Casera, she was very impactful into, especially of my life. She is one of my mom's best friends. So she's known me all the way from birth. She's someone who, she'll tell you if you're if you're wrong, and but she'll always steer you in the right direction.
She'll
Like I
tell
said
you.
before. Oh yeah, of course. And to be honest, that's actually, a lot of people don't like that. That's
Yeah.
actually what you need to have.
Yes.
Sometimes that will steer you in the right direction. But
Yes.
yourself, I hope you remember I invited you in 2013 when I received my Eagle
Mhm.
award for Boy Scouts of America, because I looked up to you. I'm glad, I have 3 of the books that you've wrote and published. And I don't know if you remember, but years ago you signed for one at like the fall foliage or whatnot. And I still remember,
Okay.
how you keep going and
Okay.
keep driving. But my first day of school, you had a meeting with all the freshmen. It was in the gymnasium, and it was the first time I've ever, met you or heard you speak. And everybody's like, it's Mr. Murata. Like, I could just, that's bad, bad impersonation. But that I remember, stuff like that. But I just remember you cared. You cared about the students. You cared about the faculty. You kind of pushed all the fluff to the side and really, dug down on making people better, making people leaders. Being an Eagle Scout and being a leader are like hand in hand, because being in scouting and achieving to become an Eagle Scout is showing that you are a leader. So I look up to yourself as as that leader, and I really do appreciate and thank you. And I know I said thank you when you did it, but for speaking at my ceremony, because it means a lot to me.
I remember that. I remember the church. I remember the hall afterwards, and
Yeah.
yeah, the warmth. I felt like I was with my family, right? A warm group
Yeah.
of people, and those were good times. But I did forget here, Jordan. What happened that we couldn't have the parade? Why didn't we have the Halloween parade?
So one of the photos I love in the beginning, you had me in the Apple thing. So me and some of my best friends, Tyler List and Nick Kidman, we were going to be the fruit of the loom. And it was the year that I don't know if it was Hurricane Sandy. It would have been a storm that was, or a hurricane or some type of storm that happened in October of 2012, which would be, the fall.
Yeah.
And you ended up closing, or the school district closed down school Thursday. I think Halloween was on a Friday, and I think school was closed Thursday, Friday, And then I think Monday, because we were out of power in where I grew up in Sparrowbush, so we stayed with my sister, and I believe it was canceled, and it was never redone. But yeah, our class, and I know I'm not the only one from that class who would say that we didn't get to do the Halloween parade, because it's one thing that people look up to. People look up to the pickleball tournament. I'm sure
Yeah.
they still probably do that. Now it's probably bigger than what it was before, when Mrs. McCarthy had, set all that up years ago. Thinking of things that, as a younger classman, looking up at, the older classmen doing the Halloween parade was like a fun day. It was a half day of school. You got to go and maybe did one or two classes, and then you got to do the parade. Not us. So we did not get to do that. And I don't have the apple anymore, but I know in my parents' house where that apple cutout is.
Well, I'm sorry about that, Jordan.
No, it's okay. It's been many years. I just think about it once a year on Halloween.
Yeah. And now, now the high school is connected to the middle school. They're not connected to the
Yes.
elementary,
Yep.
so it's a little different vibe. But the middle school kids dressed up, and but there's a parade at each one. So Jordan, we broadcast them. So I hope you tune
That'd be
in
nice.
and check
I
those
will. I'll
out.
tune in next year.
Jordan, in addition to the travel, all of a sudden I'm seeing you on a racetrack. I'm seeing you on a ceremony stand. Tell me about the relationship now that you're starting to have with some NASCAR teams, and
Correct.
how is that impacting your role?
Yeah, so it all kind of ties together. So one of my really good friends, best friends, is Mike Murphy, who was after graduating. He graduated in 2014. Me and him kind of worked side by side with in the racing industry. He went professionally into like the production and running the actual events for a series, which is IMSA. They run a lot of sports car races. And with that, he would always tag me along. Hey, come out to this race. And I would just meet people. And because I'm doing a lot of filming shoots for hotels, like I'll get asked to come shoot a hotel, shoot rooms. I'm pretty, I wouldn't say I'm pretty good, but I know how to, work a gimbal, work a camera, and get good shots. So there was a time where I was asked to go to a Formula One race back in 2022, and just to come and help assist him. And the people there, I was just kind of doing everything. I was like a golfer. Like I was just in one spot and the other, and just going back and forth. And the crew that was there really liked me. And then they asked me to, come to the next one. And, here's a contract, and here's this event, and fly here and do this. So I was able to make a lot of contacts in the racing community. So every year since 2022, I've worked the United States Grand Prix in Formula One, where I deal with the production side. So anything like the pre-race for the national anthem ceremonies, the Q&A questions with the drivers, the celebrities, and then I handle the podium ceremony. So there's a team of us that present the presenters of the trophies, and I get to meet some of the celebrities. Like you had Bill Burr, Dak Shepard were one of the photos in the pre-thing. Those are like two celebrities that I was able to talk to and work with and have a connection. And then, so this July I was reached out. There's a team that needed help with some travel. Their travel agent or travel advisor that they had was stepping away. So starting this season, I will be working, with a NASCAR team, doing bookings, doing all that kind of stuff. And one of the perks was, which is on my social media and different things, is my logo, which is right here, was on the side of the car. And that's one of the things that I sent to you. I don't know if you remember what I wrote. I said, just a kid from Port Jervis. And I sent you a reel of like a behind the scenes of my first event with NASCAR. So that's something that's I'm hoping stays great for this year and then years to come, that I will now be involved in NASCAR. Or I don't think we're a racing
Hey, clap it up for that. That's impressive, Jordan.
I appreciate it. I don't think our community is a big racing community. So that's like another thing is like venturing out and doing something that is different, and it has worked. So it's all kind of tied together. I have a very big passion for motorsports. I have a very big passion for travel, and now it's all connected. So it's really good.
Well, and Jordan, it goes back to you as the person, right? You didn't just go to that event with Murphy and stand off to the side, and you know
Correct.
you got involved and you showed them what you were made of, and here you made some connections, right? And now
Yeah.
you're in the mix of it. So, and it goes back to your skills, right? The lemonade stand. If you didn't know how to talk to people, if you didn't know how to smile at people,
Yeah.
if you didn't know how to engage, even Nick Shields jumped in the chat. I remember the 6th Street lemonade stand. Boy
Of
Scout
course.
camp talking about what middle school is like, Gumby and Pokey, and
Yep.
every New Year's and July 4th along the way. Happy birthday, Jordan. He says, is your birthday now?
Yeah, today's my birthday.
Today's your birthday?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Jordan. Well, happy birthday. And
I appreciate it.
yeah, yeah. Good stuff there, man. That's awesome. Happy birthday. What are you doing today to celebrate?
Working. I'm doing
Yeah.
actually doing some accounting work for a company today. But no, I'll go out tonight, and then we're gonna go to Disney over the weekend and have a nice dinner reservation. I was just in the Dominican Republic this past weekend, so I guess you could consider that part of my birthday. With the amount that I travel, I don't want to sound like cliche, but every day's a anniversary or a birthday because it's just kind of how it always feels, and I really do like that feeling.
Yeah. Jordan, you're involved with travel for work. Are you able to relax when you travel? Like, I know you're staying at some high-end fancy places, but are you able also to relax? Because you mentioned about getting sick a couple years ago. You got to take care of
Yeah.
yourself on the journey. How do you balance the travel and your wellness and relaxing and resting and all of that with the work?
Yeah, I would say I sleep on the airplane. I would say I sleep on the travel there. No, it is very difficult to balance. It was a conversation I had with some other agents when we were just at this event. Was when we're there, I'm trying to film the resort, trying to do this, but then I am like sitting at the pool. But while I'm sitting at the pool, I'm like observing what are the guests like thinking about, or like what are they doing, how am I going to relate this or talk to my clients about it. So there's really no on off switch, but I would say I take time and I disconnect. So like I just posted a video of walking to the beach with this beautiful tree. I'll film it, then I'll turn my phone off for like 2 minutes and just observe it and live in that moment. And to me, those little 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, like watching the sunset, like taking a photo of a sunset, then putting the phone away and just like living it, that to me is relaxing, where I can just disconnect for that little short bit of time. But that's kind of that all I need, like all I need, because it's very stressful. 2 years ago, I was away on 13 different cruise ships. And
Whoa.
then with probably a handful of other trips in between, every month I was away, and it was very, very hectic and very tiring. But because of myself doing that, I got to learn so much in travel on how to do things, and this is what you should and shouldn't do, that it was tiring, but it was rewarding at the same time. But I do take a lot of time to disconnect from business and just enjoy life, whether that be I have season tickets to the MLS team here in Orlando. And
Oh.
me and one of my buddies that I take, we say it's 90 minutes. So a soccer match is 90 minutes. My phone is off for that 90 minutes. I can just enjoy that game. And yeah, you're excited with the game, but nothing else matters. The bills, they're all going to be there no matter what. But to live in the moment is the relaxing part of it. And I think a lot of people, don't look at things like that, and they should, to just live in the moment, because you can, take photos, videos all day. Eventually, one day they're just going to be deleted. So it's good to relax and just live in that moment and be a part of what's going on around you.
Well said there, Jordan. Jordan, you're working with the senior classes, connecting them.
Mhm.
But what would be your message to the kids, right? You've graduated now 12 years ago. What would you
Yeah.
say to the students now in high school? I wish I would have, or the best things that would serve them well now for their future are. What are some bits of advice where you at in your life now for our students?
I would say in school, I wish I did more extracurricular activities. I did a lot of sports. So I played football for 2 years for freshman and sophomore, year. I played indoor and outdoor track and then also golf all the way through. But I wish I got more involved with other clubs and other things because it doesn't maybe at the time, you think, oh, I don't want to be in this club because I don't like it or don't like this. I wish I was in the videography and photo club. I was not in that at all. I think I took a class with Mr. Hysiak, for it and whatnot, but I wouldn't say I got my passion from that. But I wish I got out there and did more clubs of something I wouldn't be maybe interested at the time or just go try something. Because even if you don't like it then, that's very small of like I don't want to use the word mistake, but like a small, setback versus maybe finding something that you didn't think you would like and then see where it takes you. Because on the video end of stuff, like a lot of these resorts, are saying, hey, fly down here. We're going to cover this. We're going to cover this. Please come shoot this commercial. Please come shoot this and help us, with X, Y, and Z. I wish I learned more of that in high school. I probably would be working, somewhere else and maybe in a bigger role if I did that. So I would say for the students, now, go do something you never thought you could do. What's the risk? You wasted a couple months on something you might not like, but maybe you'll find that there's something that you're passionate about and see where that's going to take you.
Well said there, Jordan. Again, it's your birthday here, but it's also Thanksgiving, Jordan.
Yeah.
Again, your beautiful family. Again, being raised in Port Jervis. Your dad sadly lost way too young. But again, watching your mom in the community, watching your family. What would you say you're grateful for here on Thanksgiving Eve here, and some of the things that are most important to you?
I'm thankful. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for our community. There's a lot of negative, that's always said about Port Jervis, a lot of negative, tone, but that's not, I don't, I think all of that's true. I think as a community, we all look out for each other. And I am thankful for that because, people ask me down here, oh, where are you from? And I usually start out with Orange County, or I'll say New York. Oh, the city, no, upstate, even though it's not upstate, Orange County. Oh, where? And then when people say, oh, where? It's like, oh, they know the area. And I'll say Port Jervis. And then sometimes you'll get the person like, oh. And then sometimes you get the person, oh. So, I will always defend Port Jervis because we're a very small community that actually cares about each other. And me traveling across the country, there's a lot of communities where everything is just broken. There might be a lot of issues that, you see online or you see this, but the real Port Jervians or people from, the tri-state area know how close-knit our community is. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful, of everything that I learned from our community. And, but that's what I would say. I would say I'm thankful for our community and I'm thankful for my family. If I didn't have my family, I wouldn't be the person I, am here today.
Awesome. Friends, Jordan Little, class of 13. The link to the Little Travel Company is in the show notes there. And he's really making connections around the globe, literally. Jordan, you're married. You're in Florida. What's next for you?
What's next is I have no idea. I guess we'll have to stay tuned. I leave for the Bahamas in a couple of weeks, and so that's going to be exciting. My mom's coming down for my birthday, and she always comes down a week right before Christmas. So doing that, but trying to think of the next thing to do. I had someone famous tell me when he was asking me like what I do, and he called me something and it stuck. He called me a Swiss Army knife. He was like, you're something that is, your hands are in so many different places doing so much stuff, but you also have the proof and knowledge to back it up. So it's like, I'm a Swiss Army knife. So I don't know what my next little tool from that's going to be. So that's what I'm excited for is I don't know what's going to be next, but I know it's going to be fun and I'm going to have a smile on my face and I'm always going to enjoy life.
Well, you're taking some of those tools from the Boy Scouts, your time in Port Jervis, the lemonade stand, and now you got them in a big thing. Some of those Swiss Army knives are pretty thick there, Jordan. So
exactly.
Congratulations. Yeah. It is great to see. It's great to see your smile, and I'm glad to see not only are you jet setting around the world, but you have a relationship with Port Jervis schools in the work you're doing. So thank you for that.
Of course.
Yeah. Jordan, we are going to kick off a formal alumni association here in 2026. We're going to connect alumni around the world, and one of the ways is through the podcast, but also a lot more connectivity. So stay on the lookout for that. And before we let you go, it's not a Port Pride Friday. It's a Port Pride Tuesday. Schools closed the next couple of days. So we'll end with this, Jordan. What does Port Pride mean to you?
What Port Pride means to me is knowing where we come from. I kind of touched on it before, but Port Pride to me is knowing that we're from Port, but we're bigger than any negative tone that's said about us. That Port sticks together, Port stays together, regardless if I'm in Florida, but a lot of my business is based out of Port. So Port stays together, and I think my Port Pride is staying in that community, regardless from afar or not. And I have a lot of pride for Port Jervis.
As do we, Jordan. And I'm not sure when the last time you were back up here, but definitely come through the schools.
Of course,
because
I want to see all the new stuff.
Oh,
yeah,
it's incredible. Really incredible. Every graduating class afterwards was like, hey, we didn't have this, or hey, man, this, why didn't you have this when we were here? Well, hey, we're moving forward, so we are proud of those things there. So, Jordan, best way people can get in touch with you or learn more about your business, what's the best way to connect with you?
Yeah, if you go to littletravelcompany.com, that's a way to connect with me. I'm very known on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram is at JorLittle94 or at Little Travel. And then, my Facebook, just Jordan Little, if you type in Port Jervis, or I'm sure someone will have a mutual friend or something, and people can reach out, to me through there. My phone is always on. I'm always available. And any way someone wants to reach out, please, my phone is always on.
Awesome. Well, enjoy the holiday. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best in your business and keep moving forward, my friend.
All right, will do. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, man. Class of 2013, Jordan Little. Good times, going through all those years and the improvement we had over that time as well. You were right in the middle of it, and certainly glad you got in before COVID kind of changed everything there. Yeah. So, all right, Jordan. Great show. Great time. Can I get a go Port before we leave here?
Go Port.
Bam. See everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.